Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Taylor Gaines, founder and CEO of Social Gains. Today I want to talk about the 3 buzzwords that drive me absolutely bonkers. And they are social listening, growth hacking, and lead generation. Now let me tell you why these words drive me crazy. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Social listening. More often than not, social media tools say they do social listening, but really what they're offering is inbox monitoring. So what that means is they're fielding in all your notifications, so all your messages, all your comments. It's very inbound, therefore it's very reactive. So how they position it is they say you're listening for opportunity to respond, but that's wrapped into the reactionary approach. Now, most of the time when people ask me, what tools do you use for social listening? I ask the question, what are we listening for? And more often than not, what people actually mean when they're asking for social listening tools is they're looking for a proactive solution to be able to listen for opportunities to create new campaigns, listen for trigger moments that could potentially identify maybe information that helps with product expansion. So really what they're asking is listening for opportunity. So whenever you're approaching social media tools and they say that they offer listening, be careful with this one. There are tools out there that will do sentiment analysis, but again, that's a very reactionary feature because I can listen for how brands are mentioned across the media, and what I'm listening for is maybe positive, neutral, or negative sentiment, which then allows me to adjust my campaigns or adjust my messaging or adjust my tone and how I interact with potential consumers online to change that sentiment. But again, it's reactionary, remember? So this word, I have so much trouble with it because it's all about understanding what it is that we're actually trying to accomplish, what are we listening for, and then being able to match the feature set with the technology to that term. So be careful with that. The second word that I have a huge issue with is growth hacking. Really what growth hacking boils down to is automation applied to a workflow. So a simple example of this was Instagram. There were tons of growth hacking services that popped up in the past couple of years that said they could do growth hacking, they could increase your following, increase your engagement, and really what it boiled down to was the actions that you could growth hack was follow, unfollow, like, and comment. So at the end of the day, all they were offering was bot activity, automation, applied to a workflow, and they were able to run it on a 24-hour cycle. Hence, they were able to reduce the cost because they weren't paying a person. And so they were able to achieve economies of scale because they were able to automate that workflow. So when entering into the market, they were able to compete because they could reduce the cost to increase output, again, because it's automated. So therefore, brands and businesses could leverage growth hacking to be able to, boost the numbers and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, it's automation. So when social media channels change their algorithms, they change the API, people lose access, especially during the scandal when Instagram and Facebook were under a lot of hot water the past couple of years, so they've made a huge effort to reduce the amount of bot activity that can be done. What this really means is you can no longer automate. Therefore, your workflow shifts from automation to manual labor. So if you're trying to achieve the same output, you're going to need to pay more because now you have to deal with things like minimum wage. And if you want to achieve that same 24-hour cycle, you can do the math. So that's where I have an issue with growth hacking. So now when I move it into lead generation, especially on LinkedIn, I'll quantify it as like growth hacking lead gen, which I feel is most of the lead gen services out there. So, just combining 2 of my favorite words. Really what to watch out for when people say they do lead generation is all they're offering is top of funnel activities. So what I mean by top of funnel tactics is they're helping to boost your discoverability, boost your potential awareness by doing things like view profile and sending connection requests. But the caveat here is just because someone accepted my connection request doesn't make them a lead. They're not doing lead scoring, they're not doing lead qualifying. So really, when someone says they do lead generation, I'm like, no, you don't. You just automate the process of connection requests. And so many brands fall for this. I see it all the time. People are paying so much money and they're like, well, I'm not getting any leads. And I'm like, because you're not qualifying them. And the services you're using aren't qualifying them. I can connect with chief marketing officers all day long, but unless they've expressed interest and moved from top of funnel to middle of funnel, they're not a qualified lead yet. So at the end of the day, it's just understanding where is it that these services fall, what do the definitions actually mean, and how can you protect yourself from feeling like you're being overpromised and underdelivered. So those are things to watch out for. So again, key takeaways: if you're doing social listening, really identify and understand what is it that you're listening for, what are you trying to accomplish, and then understand what is it that the features in certain tools allow you to actually see and do. What actions can you actually take? Growth hacking, again, it's just automation applied to workflow and automating the aspect of button clicking to be able to achieve economies of scale without needing to pay someone to do it. Lead gen, be careful with that one. Again, is it top of funnel, middle of funnel? What are they doing? How is it impacting your sales process? And just being really clear on what that is. Hope this helps.